What is going on? This is videos about Carowinds, which is my home park, and it's about the future of it because from what I am learning and hearing, that what I would think make the most sense for Carowinds is their next major coaster going to where in the Nighthawk plot of land, which is right in the center of the park. But apparently that's not the case, and more on that here in a few minutes here. Carowinds is at a very interesting position because this park did so well after thieir, which opened up in 2015. Then in 2019, we opened up Copperhead Strike. But since then, obviously COVID kind of threw a wrench in things. But we've had Aeronautica Landing open up in 2023. 24 really wasn't any major capital at all, unfortunately. And then obviously next year is the new Camp Snoopy expansion, which features a new kid launch coaster and the Mock Rides Power Splash, or Splash Battle I think they're called, for coming this year. So that's good. Next year, we already know 2026 is going to be a record-breaking flume attraction from Whitewater West, and that's going to be located in the Rip-Roaring Rapids plot of land, which is kind of tucked in between the Palladium as well as thieir 325. So I'm really happy to see Carowinds dedicate that area for something. I kind of would rather have a new coaster in that area, but I would take a record-breaking log flume. I'm happy that the park's going to be getting a log flume again. But as far as the future after that, that's the uncertainty. Is it going to be 2027 before Carowinds gets their next major coaster? Or 2028, 2029? I don't see them going 10 years without a major coaster addition, especially now with Six Flags corporate office being located in Charlotte. I'm really hopeful for 2027. I think that would be the best for the park, but it very well could be 2028. But I don't think it's past that. I think 2027, I'm going to give it like a 70% chance that Carowinds could be getting their next coaster, and then 30% chance for 2028. As far as the location and type of coaster, I'm going to go over that here in a second, but first, a little bit of changes to my channel. My name is Theme Park Brandon, most of you know that by now, but I also have a second channel called Travel Guides USA, and in that channel, I've always loved to help people, and that's my biggest passion, and I try to make videos to help people. I get the most out of that internally. And so I started my other channel, Travel Guides USA, about 1.5 years ago. Features some great travel guides, helpful videos, like things to do besides theme parks in Orlando and things to do in Pigeon Forge and all these other places. Most of the videos are related to locations where there are theme parks nearby, which is great. But if you don't mind, please take 1 second to give go to that channel, subscribe to it if you don't mind, because I am going to be moving most of my, or pretty much all of my long form theme park content over to that channel. Meaning, what does that mean for you is Theme Park Brandon, it's going to be videos like this where I share like breaking news or thoughts on future attractions still, but it's just me on screen talking, sharing my thoughts, making it a little bit more personal. And then all of my long-form scripted videos, like my top 25 coasters and my theme park guides and other great theme park coaster-related content will be featured on Travel Guides USA. I'm doing this for a few reasons. I don't want to get too far away from my Carowinds video, but the Travel Guides channel, that is just a better long-form channel and direction for what I need to do for me and my mental space as well as my family. This is my full-time job. I only have select hours each day to do this stuff, and I have to make sure I'm doing it to the best of my abilities to help provide for my family, to give my kids a childhood that I never really had growing up, or at least make it so they can see and do more than what my sister and I had. But with that being said, Carowinds is a great park, and they need some changes. I'm glad Manny, the park president's gone, so that's exciting, because now, from what I'm hearing, the drop tower area, which is located in between Carolina Cyclone and Hurler, is now the main focal point for the park's next coaster. There is a little bit of a area behind it that has a little maintenance area and some storage. They can relocate some of those buildings and facilities somewhere else on property, I would imagine. And then you're looking at a relatively large plot of land for this type of
ride, whatever it could be.
Now, Scrambler is being relocated to where Scrambler is being relocated to where Scream Weaver once stood. That way, the new water ride entrance will be located where Scrambler was. But the back corner of Thrill Zone could definitely benefit from something. I wish that they would just have RMC come in and build Hurler, make it an RMC hybrid coaster on steroids. That's what I wish. Do I see that happening? Unfortunately not. But I think it's the smartest move for the park. But with this space here, it's not huge, but there are two coaster types for sure that I think would really fit this plot of land and do well for the park. And that would be the first one, a B&M dive coaster. Now, there's rumors out there that I've heard from online on X and stuff of Over Texas's dive coaster was apparently Carowinds. Who knows at this point? I mean, I don't know if I buy that because Over Texas definitely needs that style of ride to really bring in more crowds and to give that park a staple coaster. And if it is a Giga Dive, which that's all signs are pointing to that, that is a great way for Over Texas to get back on the map. And I don't know if I feel like a Giga Dive located next to thieir makes a lot of sense due to like they're both Giga coasters on one side of the park. I would have the Giga Dive be located like the Dinosaurs Alive plot of land back by Afterburn and in between Aeronautica Landing, or next to Afterburn and Aeronautica Landing, if anything. But a Giga Dive, if Carowinds would even build a dive coaster, whether it's 200 feet, 250 feet, or even 180 feet, one would fit well back here. I think this would be a really smart move for the park. I would prefer the next coaster I'm bringing up more so than this, but I feel like a dive coaster would make the most sense for Carowinds, for the revenue aspect of it, bringing more people to the park. The GP love it. In this area could really benefit more from like a water splashdown, or obviously the viewing area, the first drop into the Immelman element. That would be really cool for this area to have. You turn the corner where you have Hurler in the front of you, thieir to your right, look to your left, and you see a dive coaster. That would do really well for the park. And again, I don't know how large it would be. I don't see them spending the money on a Giga Dive. I don't think the money that they would spend extra on the 60, 70 some feet from a traditional standard, dive coaster around 210, 220 feet all the way to a 200 or 300 footer. I don't think the return on investment is going to be there for Carowinds. I think the GP would eat it up here enough. We already have our Giga. Over Texas doesn't. But the dive coaster makes a ton of sense. What about the one I think would be even better for Carowinds for marketability purposes, as well as a better ride and a more intriguing ride for coaster enthusiasts like you and myself, would be, what if they relocate King Ka to Carowinds? Like long live the King. Bring it down to Carowinds. Okay, I'm joking. I wish that was the case, but sadly, obviously King Ka is no more. But if you like King Ka, definitely check out the shirt. Long live the King on keepridingcoasters.com. But Carowinds, what about a Vekoma tilt coaster? We know these tilt coasters are going to take the world by storm. They already kind of are. We have Siren's Curse opening up in this year at Cedar Point, as well as Circuit Breaker, hopefully later this year down at Coda Land in Austin, Texas. And you also have the one, I think it's Iron Rattler over at Six Flags Qiddiya. God, that ride looks insane. It's 200 feet tall. Like the elements on that, oh my gosh. So just imagine if Carowinds would build one of the a little bit bigger to claim the tallest tilt coaster, have 4 or 5 inversions, tons of airtime elements, run 3 trains on it. Like, that would be fantastic, because these next gen Vekomas are all that. Like, the Vekoma is about to make, they could easily make the best coaster in the world in the next couple of years if they wanted to. Like, if a park wanted to. Like, they're that good. The restraints are comfortable. These tilt coasters look really cool. And they add the whole gimmick of the tilt. The GP would eat that up just like they would a dive coaster. And in this location, I just think a tilt coaster would look really well here. And you can easily mix it in with the Carolina theme of something, and really, it would really benefit the park, in my opinion, for a ride like this, more so than a dive coaster. Now, another question that you're probably thinking is Carolina Cyclone safe? The classic Aero 4 inversion coaster for right now is safe. Now, as for what happens at the end of this year, who knows? But if they would remove Cyclone, then this plot of land just got that much more intriguing, because this ride could be much larger. So again, to recap, from what I'm hearing, the Nighthawk area is going to just stay a field for quite a while apparently. And the new coaster for Carowinds, whether that's 2027, 2028, will be located where Drop Tower once stood. And hopefully it's a Vekoma tilt coaster. But that being said, if you are planning a trip to Carowinds, and I hope you do, it's a great park, then check out the video at the bottom of your screen where I share with you all my tips about this park and how to have the best day possible in my Carowinds Ultimate Guide video. With that being said, what's your thoughts on Carowinds' future? What are your thoughts on my predictions? You know what to do. Let me know in the comments. This is Theme Park Brandon. Be sure to subscribe to Travel Guides USA. And thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to smile today, be positive, and keep riding coasters.